Hello everyone. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, February 20th, 2018, and this is the Fantasy Flight Interactive stream for the Lord of the Rings living card game. Going into early access in Q1 2018. We are going to be doing early access and then going into full free-to-play release shortly thereafter. Busy week here at the Fantasy Flight Interactive offices in beautiful, scenic Madison, Wisconsin. We've got some freezing rain going on outside. I see some people are pouring into the chat. Howitzer, how's it going, everybody? It's good to see you again. Yeah, we got some freezing rain going on, so I am enjoying that quite a bit here in the beautiful American Midwest. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else, of course. But yeah, it has been busy. We've been working on getting the game all polished, getting ready for that Q1 2018 release, and working on some card balances and some other things as well. Just as a heads up, there's some construction going on here at the offices. So if you start hearing some banging and other sounds, anything like that, yeah, don't worry about it. I am not being kidnapped and I am not being threatened. We are just the office park is working on some stuff right now, so you might hear some of those noises. You shouldn't hear too much, but in case you do, that's what that is. We have something we'll get to spoilers in a second for the 3 new Valor cards that I have to show today in kind of a spicy deck. It's kind of an interesting build to show today. But we have something kind of interesting planned for Thursday. We are going to be joined by the composer for the music of Lord of the Rings living card game, Steve Gerns, out of Minnesota. Hopefully I pronounced his last name right. But yeah, absolutely. He's going to be here. He's going to be joining me over Skype, and we're going to be talking a little bit about making the music for Lord of the Rings living card game, and we're going to be talking to him for a while. So that's exciting. Gonna have him on and do kind of a different format than what we normally do here in the streams. Just give it a shot and see how it goes. But we'll talk to him a little bit about production, how he came up with the music, and talk to him a little bit about the game itself too. So that's for Thursday's stream. So yeah, I've got an interesting deck here. A couple of other things I wanted to go over. Some previews and interviews are going to start going live. Those previews and interviews are with some of the outlets that we've been doing that with. There's a lot of European press is going to be starting to post their interviews and their previews of the game as we've been showing it off more. So yeah, that's going to start going up. Please continue to share those links as they do. We'll also share them. I posted the Stately Play interview a little bit ago. That's because that was kind of an interesting. He had some interesting takes on what he had seen, and I thought it was a pretty good read, especially for people who are anticipating the game already. So I posted that on the Steam page. We'll continue to share things as they are posted too. I've been talking about doing maybe stream recaps on the forums somewhere, or maybe as a news post or something. There's a lot of people who can't catch up with these streams, and some people don't want to scrub through the whole VOD for news, which is totally reasonable. So I've been thinking about doing that. If that's something you sound interested in, you can check out the thread on the Steam forums and go ahead and drop and say, hey, that might be something that we'd be interested in seeing. So we can talk about feature changes from week to week as we continue to do these for the streams. So yeah, that's something that we've been talking about doing. If that's something you're interested in, go and sound off and let me know. Of course, the bandwidth is all stuff that I am able to do in addition to my other duties here at Fantasy Flight Interactive, but that's definitely something I'm interested in doing and making sure that people are getting the information in a single place from the horse's mouth, me being the horse. So yeah, today we are going to be taking a look at this deck. It is a tactics leadership deck featuring Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas. Kind of interesting, pretty cool deck. I've had some amount of success with it in previews, but I'm not totally confident with it. We'll see how it goes. We're going to be playing Quest 4 today. It's been a while since we played Quest 4, kind of a combat-focused quest, so it's good for this deck. So let's take a look at that list right now and look at the three new Valor cards that are included in that deck too. So here we go. Is this my updated build? Yes, it is. Okay, so the first card that I have to show for you today is going to be Raiment of War. This is a really powerful, kind of expensive card. Yeah, 30 threat for this deck, so it hits hard and it's got some powerful heroes. Raiment of War is a super cool card that's going to give you +1 attack, +2 health, and block, and it's going to take up your armor slot. For 4 resources, it's pretty powerful, pretty exciting as a card, but yeah, getting it out into play is kind of the challenge. But I've had some success with it so far. Block is huge. Block +2 health is like an enormous amount for a defensive card to produce. You're going to see that this deck has no healing, so that it kind of relies on these shields. That's why it's playing all three of the it's playing more than 3 shields. It's playing a couple of different armor cards in order to make sure that our heroes are always buffed up and able to survive through the whole quest. The other Valor card here is going to be Rain of Arrows. So Rain of Arrows, we've talked a little bit about AoE within the game and how it's going to, how we're going to end up building it into Lord of the Rings. This is the first piece of AoE that I believe we've seen, period. Rain of Arrows deals 1 damage to each enemy for the cost of 2. It can be really powerful in some quarter cases, but the challenge with this card is knowing when to play it, and basically you want to be able to set all your enemies down to 1. And basically, if you're playing with Legolas anyway, which we are, that's something you want to do anyway in order to maximize value out of his activation ability. So Rain of Arrows has been pretty strong for me. Like I said, having AoE is really powerful. When I say AoE, I'm referring to area of effect, which is a term used in other games a lot of the time too. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Basically, I'm talking about splash damage, things that damage everything on the board. Pretty cool card. So the other one that we are looking at, and the final Valor card that I have to preview for you today, is Quick Strike, and that is going to be a 2-cost event and a level 2 tactics card. Quick Strike is going to give you ambush on your next attack. There's a couple of interesting things going on here. The way it currently works within the game is that you play out the card and then that's the attack. So there's no sort of, I play this card, then I have to use my attack activation. This is the attack activation, basically. So if you play it during your actually adventuring phase and you get that attack in, you don't have to decide that your next attack is going to be going and then attack. It's kind of the way it works. So it can ensure that you will not receive reciprocal damage if you're killing something. For people who are wondering what ambush is, if you defeat an enemy with this attack, then you will not receive reciprocal damage, is how ambush works. So basically, you're setting up yourself for success with Quick Strike. You're making sure that you're getting your enemies down to a low enough value where you can take them out with a single Alpha Strike. Pretty strong. Hopefully it does pretty well for us here, and we can take a look at it. So yeah, those are the 3 new Valor cards that I have to show today. Those are my spoilers. I think you're probably going to run into some new enemy cards as well that have been added. I've run into them a couple times, but I can't promise anything depending on what Sauron decides to preview and show us today. But yeah, keep your finger on the trigger because we might show some, we might have some new stuff for you in terms of enemies. So yeah. This deck itself is a, like I said, leadership tactics deck, which means, of course, it doesn't have access to healing, and it doesn't have access to card draw, which are kind of its 2 drawbacks right now. It also has kind of low willpower because both Legolas and Gimli are only 1, so you're relying mostly on Aragorn to pick up the slack in his double activation by using his resource for his power. So yeah, it's a cool card. Excuse me, it's a cool deck. Basically, you are going to be spending your resources on these powerful late game allies. You're going to have access to them because you have access to this Sigil Miner, who's going to be gaining us extra resources. We saw him on Thursday's stream, I believe. He wasn't in the optimal deck for this build, but I think this build is a little bit better suited to him. Like I said, you're also going to have a lot of shields in order to protect your heroes since you don't have any healing. So you have the Gondorian shield, you have the, excuse me, my phone keeps going off. I'm just going to make sure that's silenced. You have the Gondorian shield, you have the round shield, and you also have the Raiment of War. So these are a bunch of different armors that can help you protect your heroes during the late game. So yeah, it's doing all right. And I'm a big fan of these different armors within this as a solution to not using healing. You also get access to the Bow of the Gladrim, which is another level 2 tactics card. It can be hard to include this in a deck because you obviously need the 2 tactics heroes, but it's super worth it once you do. Getting 1 attack and then ambush is super strong because you're not going to receive that reciprocal damage. So the funny thing is that you generally use Legolas for cleanup because he's got range, so he's not going to take damage when he attacks exhausted characters. So you actually end up putting the bow on Aragorn and Gimli more often in this deck, or usually it's correct to put it on them instead. I like the bow a whole lot. I'm excited to be able to play with it more, basically. Rounding out the deck, like I said, you have some allies. We included the Lancer. I've only got one in here. I think he's kind of the next thing on the chopping block if I were to modify the deck anymore. Just like, this is kind of not our plan. Guard of the Citadel is powerful since he is guard, since he's going to block your enemies, and he can be really strong in conjunction with the Sigil Minor. He can be really strong with your heroes if you need to protect them too. He's good with the archers who have ranged, who are also really critical in this deck. Being able to deal that little extra damage is pretty good. You'll notice there's no Tom. That might be a mistake. I didn't want to include another really expensive ally, and I thought Gandalf was more important because he has that 4 willpower, so he can clean up objectives. So currently it's just 1 Gandalf. I don't know. In the future, it might end up being 2 Gandalfs, or 1 Gandalf, 1 Tom. Cutting the Lancer, I think, would probably be the next thing. I was just a little bit worried about being a little top-heavy on my curve, so I wanted to maintain a couple more low-cost cards here. We got the Outrider, who we also previewed on, I believe, 2 weeks ago. The Outrider deals 2 damage to an undamaged enemy. He usually dies the turn he's played because of his 2/2 stats, but that dealing 2 is really, really powerful as an arrival effect, and he can basically take down a 4 health enemy on his own. He can also be used to exhaust certain enemies so that Legolas can get in there. He can also, there's a lot of, that 3/5 shows up a lot in this quest, the Elite Dol Guldur Orcs, and the 3/5 with Pursuit as well. So he can be used in conjunction to, you deal 2 to him, send in the Outrider as the attack, and then at the start of the next upkeep you can kill them off with Legolas, or Rain of Arrows if you have multiple ones in play. So those are kind of the synergies of the deck. Those are kind of what it's going after. 2 Erkenbrands, which is pretty aggressive too, but like I said, block is super important, so that's something we wanted on our allies. We are planning gaining strength. This deck does go low on cards every once in a while. This is a tough card to have stranded in your hand, and it's a pretty bad top deck, but it seems necessary because there's so many expensive cards. So yeah, this deck has been doing fine. I really like this thematic fellowship here that we've got going on. Big fan of playing all these characters together, and we're gonna see how it goes in Quest 4 now. So let's jump in. Yeah, Quick Strike is a level 2 currently, folks. Okay. Go into Journey Down the Anduin. Make sure I change my deck. Almost missed it that time. Yeah, so what's happening here is that we, as we are leaving through Mirkwood Forest, some new threats start to arise. And we have to fight our way through these the swarm of orcs as we continue down the Anduin here. So let's jump in. Some people were asking about block with Rain of Arrows. From what I understand, I used the card on a block enemy, and it that 1 damage was blocked. So I'm not sure if that's intended or if that's a bug, but that's currently how it is set up right now. So just 1 second as I get everything set up. Sorry, I had a program. Like I said, I've been working in the studio. So some of my presets are not perfect right now, so I'm making sure that they are good to go here. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so here we have our opening hand. We have 2 Rain of Arrows, a Westfold Outrider, an Erkenbrand, and a Quick Strike. So I think we have to ship back Erkenbrand since he's expensive. That's not really what we're doing. I think we keep the Outrider. We could also keep Quick Strike in order to give one of our characters ambush on the next attack, but part of me wants, I know I'm shipping back the Rain of Arrows because there's only 2 enemies in this initial staging area, so it's just like not good value yet. You could combine them in order to do 2, which seems pretty powerful, but I don't think that's really what I'm going for here. Vol, I see you're talking about co-op. So that is not something that we are going to have ready for early access. It's going to be at full release. Any kind of screen, I'm not sure what screenshots you're referring to, but yeah, we were talking a little bit about it about our intentions for that. We'll have more details once we get past the early access hump here and get the game out as a single player. We'll start being able to talk more about co-op basically. But it's not, it's not some well-kept secret that we're not going to have co-op integrated or anything in the game. That's something that we definitely want in there. Cool. Yeah, McDog, it could be that same image. I'm not sure. I'm going to take Lorian's Wealth. Like I said, this deck is starved for cards, so let's do that. Okay. We gain our... We have to defeat the Hill Troll. So this one's kind of a unique location, and there's a couple of these within Journey Down the Anduin. Basically, you have to defeat the enemies before you can quest. So it's not just about defeating the enemies, it's about defeating the enemies and questing. We could put... If we put the damage on the guard orc here, then we can go Galadon Archer, finish him off with, like, any of our allies. And then we have 2 resources left over to play, like a shield on whichever one we choose. Or we could go Sigil Miner. No, because there's no way to block the Sigil Miner. So it's either put the 1 damage on... So I think we are going to put the 1 damage on him, and then we're going to use the Archer to finish him off. We'll probably lose the Archer immediately to an attack, but if we do, then we block 1 damage, and the Archer has been... Basically absorbs 3 attack and deals 1 damage. That's pretty good value for a single card and a resource, so I'm okay with doing that. So let's put the 1 damage on him. Okay. We've got another enemy here, the Veteran Patrol. 2-5 ambush. Let's just, yeah, let's stick with that plan right now. I'm trying to figure out who we're going to put the damage on. I think probably Aragorn, because he's got the 2nd highest health behind Gimli, and we want Gimli to potentially get hit before we attack with him. Whether or not that happens. Let's draw cards immediately, see what we get. Oh, wow. So we could gaining strength, and get Arraignment out immediately. Wow. That's 3 cards to get Arraignment out on turn 1. But with Stalwart, it's like not that bad of an investment. Let's give it a shot. Pretty powerful here. Get the arraignment on Gimli. People who are saying to Westfold the orc, it's only to an undamaged enemy. Outrider can only hit an undamaged enemy. All right. Let's end our planning phase here and attack into the orc with Aragorn. Yeah, we knew that was gonna happen, but that's fine. We'll finish off our ambush enemy here. We'll only take 1 damage since he's got block now. Finish him off with Legolas using the ranged, and he doesn't take any damage back, and end it there. Deal 1. Eastbite Patrol. Go into our turn. So we have to finish off the Hill Troll before we can travel. But we don't necessarily have to finish off the patrol. That being said, part of me just wants to Outrider it down so that it doesn't get its activation. And then put a Warrior Sword like on one of our characters here. I think we put it on Legolas, assuming that we eventually put a bow on Aragorn, basically. Like, I'd rather have the sword on him because in the future I want to... put a bow on Aragorn here. Alright, let's take him down. End our planning phase. Put him down to 3, then 3. Yeah, that's fine. Drop him down to his original attack value. Finish him off with Legolas, and then we are allowed to start questing. 0 will from the Outrider is unfortunate, so we can't quest with him, but that's fine. Here, even if he plays another enemy, we can still continue to quest, depending on what it is. If it's a pursuit, we definitely don't want to. Hey, quick strike. Okay, so it's a guard. That's, like, fine. I mean, it's going to get 1 attack in. I don't really want it to kill the Outrider, so I'll probably... Ugh, gross. We're going to lose 2 resources here because of spooked horses. That's too bad. I don't want it to kill the Outrider, as I was saying, so I think I'm going to set it down to 1 and then finish it off with Legolas next turn. We can't play anything in our hand because our resources are gone. So let's just do that. A red sun rises. do I just drop him down to 1 like that? Or no, I'll just put the 1 on Gimli. So I drop him to 1. 1, 2, 3. I could spend 1 resource. So my options here are to basically spend 1 resource to gain a resource, because I quest with Aragorn, quest again to get the 2nd resource. That increases our threat to 33 before we travel. Next round I get to do the same thing in order to move forward. Sauron gets 1 play. I don't think it's worth it. I think I just spend the extra resource to move on to the next location here. This is kind of the difficulty that I was talking about with these one willpower heroes not being able to finish the quest. But this is alright. We're in a good spot. We've got that early arraignment on Gimli. Our Legolas is at full health, and everybody's at least like everybody's at least above 7, which is kind of the threshold that I always feel for danger. So pretty happy here. Let's jump into the next location.
Having defeated the troll, you board a raft and float downriver. You barely have time to catch your breath before more enemies emerge along the riverbank.
So we have another we have kind of another swarm objective here. We're going to have a lot of enemies come to our come to stop us here. See what we can do. Make it downriver is our objective, so we just have to clear out 8 willpower, which is quite a bit. We do have a pursuit enemy here and the goblin sniper, which is going to add up to a lot of damage if we don't take it down. So I think it's probably worth it to start to attempt to do that. I'll probably just try to trade my outrider into the sniper if I can. Ugh. Another pursuit enemy. The last leg of this quest, the reason I'm so concerned about pursue enemies more than anything else is that the last leg of this quest is that you have to defeat every enemy in play. So leaving them on the table that long is kind of just not an option. If we... Let's Gondorian shield. Let's... Excuse me. Let's get it on Legolas. Give him +2 health and block, so he's pretty powerful now. We should start putting things on Aragorn, but like he's been cleaning up our objectives so far, so I think it makes more sense to put it on Legolas for now. That way I can start sending him in to exhaust characters instead of just having him finish them off with ranged. We'll exhaust our enemy here. Okay. So we're going to use Legolas's ability to finish him off. Or, well, we'll use Legolas's ability to finish off our Warg Riders instead. Let's see.
He cannot stand alone.
Got block on him, so he'll only take 1 from whoever he attacks. So he could just... Oof, gross. We're good here, then. Okay. Go up to 3 resources. Okay, cool. Not particularly useful right now. Let's see what he plays. The Elite Dulgador Orcs. So we're gonna save a resource for Quick Strike here. Or we can give one of our characters plus... Yeah, let's actually do that. Let's shield up Aragorn since he's taken so much so far. We'll use the Archer to drop our Elite down to 4. 4 health here. This is actually kind of tricky. Maybe that wasn't a great play. Because, like, now we can't well, we couldn't Quick Strike anyway since we spent the 2 resources. 2 health and block. +2, yeah, that's fine. So it doesn't really matter who we attack in with here. Quest. Finish him off. Legolas, and end here. Alright, so we're at 35 threats, so the first threat event triggers. That means that Sauron's going to gain his +2 resources here. Go up to 5. So this is probably going to be a crucial turn here. We get another Treachery. And a guard enemy. That's fine. We can just basically bypass that and not really worry about it too much. We have a round shield. Probably put it on... All of our characters have armor, though, so we're not going to really need it right now. I am going to play out the Sigil Miner. And preparation triggers, so I figured that was probably Treacherous Fog, and we lose that shield. That's fine. Like I said, we couldn't really play it anyway. Let's exhaust here.
I serve no man. You would die before your stroke fell.
If I just use it instead of activating again, then we can finish the objective here. So I think I'm just going to do that instead of gaining my 1 off of the Sigil Miner. And we'll travel. And move on to the next location.
Ongoing harassment from your enemies forces your raft to the shore. You must confront their ambush head on.
Penguin, if you're not a fan of card backs, which again, all art, like everything we show, is subject to change, but if you're not a fan of card backs, there will be other cosmetics available so that you will be able to replace that. Everybody's going to get 2 card backs for heroes and 2 card back for Sauron cards, so if you're not a fan of some of the card backs, we have options for you. Okay, so here we are in the final encounter of the quest here. We have to defeat our last enemy and play in order to complete it. We've been doing alright without any healing. Our Legolas is at full health. Our Gimli's looking a little worse for the wear, but remember he has block, as does our Aragorn, who is at 6. Our objective is going to basically to be... The problem here is that we have to clear it off when there are no enemies. So, like, between rounds, as Sauron continues to play things, that barrier comes up again. So he goes shields down for, like, so short of time that we can usually only get, like, 2... willpower contributed to the quest at a time, unless we activate Aragorn a second time with his power. I'm going to be spending a lot of resources on that. Basically, we're just going to be using the Sigil Miner to get a second activation off of Aragorn as much as we can. That's at least my plan for now, but we'll see what happens. Well, Stalwart means that it doesn't exhaust when it's attacked. I'm going to actually drop the warg here because it has surge and it deals +1 when attacking, so it actually represents 4 damage or 1 if you don't. Oof, I didn't want to lose that shield, so we're gonna have to put the Gondorian. Oh no, we can. We could potentially Sigil Miner. So I've run into a bug here right now where if I activate my Sigil Miner during my planning phase, sometimes it still won't let me play cards of a higher cost, which is a temporary bug that I've been running into. So we'll see if it happens here. Yeah, so it won't let me play my thing, unfortunately. Normally that's what I would do here, but we'll just put the shield on. Like I said, work in progress, folks, so stuff is going to keep on happening here. Let's move into adventures. Yeah, quick cosmetics commercial. Yeah, you're going to get 2 by default, so you'll have a little bit of choice no matter what, which is, you know, important to us. We didn't want to leave that out for folks. I'm going to attack with Gimli since he's got block. He's not going to take any damage from taking down the warg. We lose our archer. Because of surge, the elite orcs is going to get his second attack in if he needs it. Do I leave him at 1? Do I attack with Legolas, leave him at 1? Attack with the attack the Orc Marauder. So I'm prioritizing the Orc Marauder over the Troll Spawn, which I'm not sure if we've seen this guy before. He might be a new enemy character. This 2/5 with block here. I'm not sure if we've seen him on stream or if Charlie showed him on stream when he was playing, but I don't believe we've shown him. Anyway, I am prioritizing him less because the Marauder is going to give Sauron an extra resource by attacking, so like I want to exhaust him. However, I don't think that outweighs stopping the elite Dol Guldur from getting a second enemy here. Hold on a second. Am I disconnected? Yeah. Uh-oh. Folks, it looks like my internet is down. I'm not sure if you can still see me here. The stream should... Looks like the stream went down for a second. Hey, can you guys see me again? I'm not sure if I'm having. It looks like I'm having a little bit of internet trouble on my end here. I just lost connections to OBS and I just lost connection to the game and to the stream. So basically everything went back down. Looks like I'm back up. Sorry about that, folks. Yes, the frozen rain freeze through our cables or something there, but we lost connection for a second, so unfortunately we backed out there too. We're gonna jump back in, see what I can do for now. And we're gonna jump back into quest 4 there and see if we can get to where we were previously. But we might end up having to cut short here because of that. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, our internet got Sauroned, as it were. Like I said, they were working on some stuff out there, so I hope nothing essential got cut and or cabled while we were doing that. But we should be all right. Yep, so here we are in Journey Down the Anduin. Okay, we've got our miner. I don't think we want that. We're not going to get arraignment out that early again. We'll keep Shield of Rohan and ship everything back. Okay, guard's good. We'll get our Lorian's wealth as well. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Not sure what happened there. I'm gonna have to double check, but I got like a million notifications all at once that like internet was down. Like my entire system panicked just as much as I did, which was it's nice to know that those things are all in place at least, and we are set for that. Ew. Oh, so that's actually gonna discard our favor card. Wow. I've never seen that happen. That's powerful. All right, let's get the bow on Gimli here. We'll leave our last resource to maybe activate Aragorn twice. So here the ambush is going to kill the Dulcador orcs without taking any damage, so that's super cool. Let's do it. Yeah, just trade 2 for 3. I'm fine with that, probably. I'm not going to ready him up, though. I'm not going to do it twice. And we're going to get our 3 resources in order to get the Rainman out. Purchases in the game if you have Steam gift cards. So from what I understand, we're going to be using and supporting the Steam wallet, so that should be okay. I'm not going to say definitively one way or the other, just in case, and I don't want to be wrong about that. But since all of our purchases will be going through Steam wallet, so Steam currency should carry over just fine. Like I said, I just don't want to speak definitively, just in case they're on. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Sauron's getting out of the game, and he's going to get to everything else now. So get ready for that. Oh, I forgot he had ambush. I was like, why didn't Gimli take damage? That being said, Legolas is now at 3 health in the first location. That's really bad. I mean, if everything's running as it should, he should only be attacking exhausted characters anyway, so, like, maybe it's not that big of a deal, but this feels like it could be difficult. I'm going to put the Gondorian shield on him to give him block. Mirkwood Patrol. +2 health and block, brings them up to 5. I mean, that's effectively like healing. What it is it's increasing their top value. We had a discussion about this in the office a couple days ago. What it's doing is like it's increasing their top value. It's not necessarily just healing them. So like his total health is now 11 instead of being 9 basically. So it's not exactly healing him as much as it's adding more defense points. That can be really valuable if you are using it with conjunction in other forms of healing and other ways to increase health and specials and different attachments like that. So armor, yeah, armor's a little bit better than health, basically. Yeah, so like the healing is basically like a byproduct of increasing their health totals. So it's not necessarily that it's healing them; it's a byproduct of upping that number completely. So you can do some tricky, cool things with that, I think, which I've enjoyed. Gimli's going to take out the Orc Hound here. The guard is going to... So I'm thinking about putting... Gimli doesn't have an armor yet. that's not really a priority for me. So I'm gonna put out the Guard of the Citadel to block an attack to make sure Legolas doesn't take another hit from our 2/4 here. Aragorn's going to quest twice, and then I think Legolas is gonna finish it off if all goes as planned. So first move, we'll use Gimli to take down the Hound. Gets his attack in. Quest. Legolas will put 1 on there, spend a resource, quest a second time, move on to the next location. Okay, so 6 and 5 is not like terrible. It's not 7 like I was saying earlier, but full Gimli at 12 is really powerful. Especially with that bow. That bow's doing work, man. I love this card. There's our Rain. The Goblin Sniper just picked him off, if you were wondering what was going on there. If we Rain here, I don't know about that. I'm thinking about raining. I'm thinking about raining and then being able to take out. It'll kill the sniper. We'll be able to take out the. Yeah, okay. I think I'm on that plan now. Ambush is super good. Ambush is kind of the best way for you to deal with characters who you need to when you can't receive that reciprocal damage because of lacking healing or whatever. Like ambush is a good solution to that. It feels like. I think maybe that Necromancer's Reach should have probably changed my plan there, because now I don't feel as secure about attacking with Legolas into our Beastmaster here. So instead I'm actually going to well, that'll be a free kill. No, I'm just gonna put the damage on Gimli and exhaust our enemy there. Okay, that went all right. So this would either be a free kill here, but he's gonna get the 1 point anyway, so we'll just we'll work towards the objective. Take him out. Yeah, Quad, I think the Beastmaster followed, which is another bug that I've been running into in this location, since he has the Orc Hound with him, which grants pursuit. I think his behaviors might be off right now, which is unfortunate. Oh, and I think maybe the storm event there just crashed us out. Did it? Am I missing something? Because I don't have a way to end my planning phase here, so I think maybe our storm just the real-life storm crashed our stream's internet, and the storm within the game seems to have crashed us here as well. So that's unfortunate. I'm not sure what's going on, or if it's a lack of loading. Hopefully we're okay. I'm checking to make sure my internet is still going and I'm not having any issues because of that, or if the game's getting disconnected based on that. But it looks like it's just growing pains currently. I'm not completely sure what's going on here. I'm gonna double check. Let me see. Yep, it would seem that I am. Well, we're gonna have to jump out then here. Yeah, very treachery. You can end the entire game with that card. We might have to might end up having to nerf that before we go into full release. Just kidding. There's a couple of technical difficulties we've run in here today for sure. All right. Well, that was unfortunate, and we didn't get to see the end of the quest there, but I think we would have been okay. Like I said, that deck has been doing all right in that final location there, and I've been enjoying it quite a bit. No healing, focusing not on card draw, but instead on those attachments and those allies. So yeah, that was unfortunate, but hopefully we'll be able to show you guys a little bit more gameplay coming in the future. Let's review that deck before we jump back in. So yeah, we have a couple of different ways of grabbing resources with the Sigil Miner and gaining strength. For the most part, we have these allies intended to protect our heroes. Erkenbrand, Guard of the Citadel. The Lancer's in there for cleanup duty because it has ranged. We had an extra slot, and I basically decided to include him. I think it's probably going to become another Gandalf after the way the deck played. well, we were pretty starved for resources most of the time. When I was testing the deck before I got started here, I was having a lot of resources because I had two Sigil Miners working in tandem, so I was getting a lot, and I was able to play out basically my whole hand. I don't know, maybe we'll end up doing that in the future. Warrior Sword and the Archer in order to deal a little extra damage. Another shield within the Shield of Rohan. This is within Eowyn's hero pack. I don't think I've played this before in a deck, so I'm a big fan of this card. Kind of gives you some other options, and again, this has the +2 health, so that's going above the top of its value, so it can help you out a little bit here. Cassiodorius, yeah, we are proudly built in Unity. We are a Unity game, in fact. Quick Strike here, which was the other one. We didn't get to see this in action. I know some people in the chat were kind of downplaying it. I've actually had a lot of success with the card so far. I like it a lot as a tactics event. Hopefully we'll be able to see it in action a little bit more and maybe convert some people, but you know, the benefit is if you do not like it, you do not have to unlock it. But you might find something you like within these kinds of combat-focused events like this too. Rain of Arrows, which was the AoE card here we had. There's Round Shield as well, which gives you block. Another armor card here. Bow of the Gladrim, which is a +2 attack and ambush weapon here. This card was obviously an MVP. This card's going to continue to be an MVP. I think this is one of the more powerful attachments you're going to find within the first wave of hero packs. This is with the attachment within the Legolas's hero pack, and it requires a level 2 tactics, so you're going to have to be playing 2 tactics heroes in order to play it so far. Pretty good so far. Bjorn, yeah, Bjorn is not in the deck. Good point, Engage. Actually, so the reason I didn't include him here was he was another expensive ally, but him being a source of like repeating damage might make him more valuable than even like say Gandalf in this deck. 1 willpower means that he can't really help with the objective in the same way, but he can take a lot of hits. I think that's a good point. I think he actually should probably be in this deck somewhere. He is spendy, but I like him a lot. And he's been great for like cleanup duty on a lot of these enemies. So like in that quest 4, he probably would have been really, really good. Yeah, so no, Vive, Quick Strike is the level 2 tactics card that we showed today. Please remember that everything we're showing too is work in progress, especially visuals and things like that too. So might be seeing some new stuff in the future. We got to play Westfold Outrider in this deck. A good card for cleanup too, dealing damage to an enemy and then being able to kind of send him in to deal with 4 health minions or set enemies down so that Legolas can finish him off on upkeep, which is cool too. And Raiment of War, which is a powerful card, splashy. I was kind of expecting people to have a more visceral reaction to this card, to be honest, because I'm a big fan of it. I guess it being expensive makes some people scared of it, but like getting it out on turn 1 there with the double gaining strength was super cool. And I wonder how likely that scenario would be. I mean, getting it out with the Sigil Miner too on turn 2 is pretty likely actually. Or even just saving your last resource and getting it out on turn 2. So 4 cost is actually not that much of a detriment compared to something that's going to increase your stats like this. And this is currently the only armor that we've shown that increases your attack as well as your health. And I think that that's super powerful too. And using it in conjunction with some of the 1-attack heroes especially, I think you could do a lot of work if you did that with Raiment of War. Of course, it being in tactics means you're including tactics heroes too, but you can do some cool things with this. Yeah, Quad. I think you can do some bonkers things with Raiment of War. I'm a fan of this card too, and I'm excited to see how it continues to play. So yeah, this was the deck I had for you today. Got to see a couple of new cards. Like I said on Thursday, we need a better name for this. Like I said on Thursday, for emphasis, we are going to have our composer for the game, Steve Gerbs. He's going to be joining me for an interview. We'll see how that goes. Things might change around as we are continuing to get that technically all set up and making sure that that's something viable. We might end up posting it as a VOD, but for the right now, the plan is to post it as a stream as at the normal time. I'll keep you guys updated if anything changes in that too. So yeah, Quad, that would be cool. An ally who decreases attachment costs or even event costs. So yeah, that's what I have to show for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I am Luke. We are here on Fantasy Flight Interactive's Twitch page, twitch.tv/FFI Games. You can also find us on Twitter at twitter.com/FFI_games, facebook.com/FFI Games, youtube.com/Fantasy Flight Interactive, where you can watch old streams as well as teaser trailer. We got some other content on the pipeline for that page too. But yeah, you can watch old streams there and kind of catch us up with us there. You can check the Steam community forums, which I am usually present on. I'm always reading for any kind of feedback you might have and connect with other fans of the game. If you are interested in connecting with other people in the game too, you can check out the Reddit page that I know has been going. Just hit us up with any kind of feedback or any kind of excitement you have for the game as we get closer to that launch, and get ready to release it to the public for early access, and hopefully get it in your hands. The best way to let our publisher know that you are excited for this game and waiting for that release is to add it to your Steam wish list. So if you have not done that already, go ahead and do that, please, and you'll get minute-to-minute updates on the game too from Steam and its availability. So please add the game to your Steam wish list today. The last thing I wanted to talk about before we get going is that we are still hiring. We are still taking in applications for the technical game designer here in Madison, Wisconsin. If you have some experience with Unity, Python, any kind of technical design, and you are a fan of card games, and you would be a perfect member of the team to join us, we would love to have you on. Even if you're not completely sure about your qualifications, or you're a little hesitant about stuff, please apply. The only way you can get the job is if you try to get it. So feel free to do that, and if you're willing to move out here in Madison, Wisconsin and join the team, we'd love to have you. So yeah, thanks for joining us, folks. Take a look at that job application. Please add it to your wish list, and we'll see you soon. We'll see you on Thursday. Thanks again.